This is Chris with Cleveland Corporate Protective Service. Today we're going to talk about in public safety, traveling to events, day and night, school functions, malls, cities, urban, all that. Biggest factor in the morning or whatever time you're actually leaving is to try to plan ahead. Try to plan the day before. That way you're not rushed, you're not forgetting anything. Don't be rushed for time. Take your time. When you get to those areas and you're parking, sometimes it's better to know where you're going to be parking, especially if you've never been there before. If it's a regular mall you go to, your normal routines, that's not as big a factor as far as going to a new location. When you park, once you're stopped and parked, look around where you're at, try to remember where you're at. Some people get out, take a picture of your location. That way, under stress, if you have to leave a building or in the other side of a mall, you got a general idea. You can look at the picture. You can replay where you're at. Prior to getting out of the vehicle, look around. Is there people sitting in vehicles? Are they close to you? What are they doing? If it's a school event, it's probably just parents waiting. Don't take things for granted. If you have a feeling that something's off, try to go with your instincts. They've been inherited since Adam and Eve. Through time, we were less relying on those and more relying on other people for our public safety. Always be responsible for your own safety. When you're traveling somewhere, if it's distance, far distance, it doesn't hurt to download some safety apps that your family and friends can have. If you don't want everybody knowing where you're at, have one or two people know. If it's a new place you're going, definitely let somebody know. Returning from those locations, especially if it's at night, try to have your hands empty. Sometimes you're getting groceries and so on. That makes it difficult. If you carry self-defense weapons, it can be handheld weapons, tasers, pepper spray. Same principle if you're carrying a firearm. Having your hands full is a tough thing to defend yourself, especially if you're surprised. Always be looking around where you're going. Look at people, talk to people. A lot of times you can ask people questions, even as you're walking by them. Good afternoon, good morning. If they don't say anything, it's an answer. They're not answering you. What else are they thinking about? You can always have a plan in your head. You can always be aggressive in your decision making, and nobody even knows. One of the other things we like to talk about is a duck. If you're in a situation you're walking in and your feelings are something's off, if it walks like it, talks like it, quacks like it, it's a duck. There's so many victims in the last 34 years of law enforcement. Half of them told me, I knew it was coming. I seen it coming. I didn't want to get embarrassed or I didn't want to make a false assumption. They're victims. Generally, most people are good-hearted in your minds, but you have to think about what's came into this country in the last umpteen years. Millions of people here don't speak our language, especially in the bigger cities, especially if you're down south. Think about where you're at, where you're going. Let people know where you're going. Have a plan, stick to the plan. If the plan isn't going, then you got to stop and regroup, and you got to be aware of your surroundings. This is Chris with Cleveland Corporate Protection Service. Be safe.